Come on, I just feel like I should be in this one.
I don't know, man. I just don't see the connection between you and the set.
Are you kidding? That's literally me.
Well, let's be fair. It could be anyone, right? You all do kinda look alike.
How dare you?
I'm just saying. How about this? You can stand in the background, just don't say anything.
Fine.
Hello all, I'm Josh, and if you've been around the channel for a while, you may know that we around here are pretty big fans of a certain thing. That certain thing is LEGO MOCs that have been designed by other people that we can build and review ourselves and make videos about. I also would have accepted the answer Stormtrooper for that last question, because we are also big fans of Stormtroopers around here. But today, we've got the best of both worlds, because we're talking about a LEGO brick-built Stormtrooper MOC, which was designed by others, someone else, and I bought the instructions and the pieces and I built it, and I'm excited to talk about this guy here with you today. I actually built this a little while ago, but at the time of making this video, we're in mid-February 2022, and we're kind of between this lull of early January sets and March 1st sets that are about to drop, and so I figured, what better time than now to talk about this cool little Stormtrooper set. Like I said, this is not an official LEGO set. This set was designed by BuildBetterBricks.com, at least that's where I bought the instructions from. It is not an official LEGO set, and that kind of shows, which we'll talk about in a minute here, but I think the finished product is still pretty cool, right? It is a LEGO Imperial Stormtrooper, as you might have noticed. The thing comes out to like 9 inches high about. We can compare his height to that of some other LEGO and non-LEGO Stormtrooper models that we've got around here. The details of this set. He has 438 pieces, and it costs $7 for these instructions, but it will cost another, I don't know, 45 to 50 bucks about to pick up all the pieces. I bought them a little while ago, so I can't exactly give you that number. As far as Stormtrooper models go, this one is not the most accurate. He's also not the least accurate. Like, he's kind of an artistic interpretation of a Stormtrooper, kind of doing the best we can with the parts that we have at the scale that we're working with. Like, he reminds me of this little wooden Stormtrooper that I got from Disney World, where it's an artistic interpretation of a Stormtrooper, right? Not like a realistic model of the real thing. But speaking of Stormtroopers and comparisons, I can do something here that others could not do. I can compare this little brick-built Stormtrooper model to a real-life Stormtrooper LEGO buildable figure, which I have also brought along with me right here. They are the most comparable in size and shape, I would say. They're also both built out of LEGO. However, our model here on the left, built by me, designed by BuildBetterBricks.com, he is a little blockier, a little boxier, a little more, I don't know, brickier, if I don't have a better adjective to describe that, whereas our official LEGO model kind of looks more like a Stormtrooper in some ways, more like a Stormtrooper mixed with a bodybuilder in other ways, but he is like a Technic Bionicle version of a Stormtrooper. Not everyone loved these buildable figures. I agree. In most cases, when we talk about these buildable figures, I do like the custom molded helmet, which of course looks better on this guy because it's basically a toy. It's not a LEGO. On this guy, the brick-built helmet is a little goofy looking, but again, what's the best we're gonna get here? It's a brick-built Stormtrooper. I don't know. They're cool to see standing next to each other as like kind of two different interpretations of one classic, well-known character slash villain, I guess you could say, the scourge of the Empire. You know, the feared Imperial Stormtrooper, who were kind of a joke in the whole thing. No offense to those hanging out around here. You know, they both have similar features. Stormtrooper knees that are supposed to be in there, where we get the same knee piece for our buildable figure there. Apologies to the fallen brethren around us. They both have an E11 blaster, of course. Our brick-built version has a brick-built version, whereas our buildable figure version has a not really brick-built version, but I mean, at least this one fires for real. Not that it'll hit anything. Ooh, gotcha! As far as comparisons go, though, I don't actually think this is the best comparison. It's like comparing a clay model of a Stormtrooper to a a weirder clay model of a Stormtrooper. Not my best analogy, but I'm just saying, like, the two are meant to represent different versions of Stormtroopers in some way. So I don't know. I don't love that comparison. I did also bring along a much more accurate version of a Stormtrooper. This is like a 1/6 scale Stormtrooper action figure that I've had for a long time. This guy is highly accurate, and like, it's dumb to even make this comparison. And yet, here we are, but like, this is what a Stormtrooper model should look like, and this is what it looks like if it's made out of 400 and something bricks. I don't know, I'm just showing off at this point my Stormtrooper collection that I have around me. Everyone jokes about how bad a Stormtrooper's aim is. No one talks about how hard it is to just get him to stand up straight for 5 minutes. Just talking about this guy on his own, though, much like many of his brethren before him, he operates on a whole bunch of ball joints, and those are in like his shoulders and his legs, all on ball joints. He's got a bit of posability here. However, I would compare him to a father's schedule in a 90s movie before he discovers that there's nothing out there more important than family. That's that he is inflexible. He only can really bend so far before either his joints stop himself or he just literally begins to come apart at the seams, because, I don't know, he can't bend his knees to sit down completely. This dude is not designed to be played with. He is designed to be posed once and then set on a shelf. But, you know, he does do decent at his perfect practice poses, much like Isabella from Encanto, which has been playing a lot in my household. But he can be posed in a decent Stormtrooper looking way and then set on a shelf. Looks pretty good when you just do the bare minimum with him. Overall, though, he has most of the decent Stormtrooper detail that you would hope for. Like I mentioned before, the slight difference in his knees and the like bit of posability and a bit of like, I guess, helmet detail you could call it. He's got pretty big, wide feet that let him stand up decently well, but he is a little fragile. He can come apart pretty easily, pull a Darth Maul there without necessarily intending to. And like I said, my kids got a hold of this thing between viewings of Encanto, and he falls apart pretty easily. So just use a little bit of caution when dealing with these like fearless enforcers of Imperial law, right? Not actually that scary when you get them up close. For those of you who didn't grow up around the original trilogy, you might not be as big of fans of these original Imperial Stormtroopers. You might, you might have been born a little closer to the year 2000, and therefore you might be a pretty big fan of the prequels. And don't worry, BuildBetterBricks.com has something for you as well. Did I mention this isn't affiliated? I like their products enough to talk about them here, but there's something on there that you all prequel fans might enjoy, like a Phase 1 clone trooper, or a bunch of like battle droids and like droidicas, or your personal favorite, Commander Cody, as a buildable Lego figure. I actually kind of want to build this dude just to have Commander Cody next to my Imperial Stormtrooper here. But I have not yet done so. I think all of those are comparable prices and piece counts to this Imperial Stormtrooper that I have here, so go pick those up if you are a child. Sorry. So overall, I dig this model, and you might like this set. Also, if you are like me and you're a pretty big fan of Stormtroopers and also a pretty big fan of Lego itself, and you can navigate this world of like buying instructions and getting the parts you need to put these things together, it's not that complicated. But basically, this model was made for just me. So I'm excited to display this set on my shelves here, and I'll describe it using one last phrase, a phrase that I don't get to use very often around here, especially when TK and I play a game of Battleship, or when he tries to play the latest track from the album that him and his buddies are working on. It's a hit. Get it? Stormtroopers can't hit anything, but this little model, it's a hit. I'll see you next time.